12 nominated. That amounts to the 349 members of the National Assembly. But who holds the majority here?
I think when I look at how Kenya Kwanza has been behaving, it's been behaving a bit unfair to Azimio, especially with respect to the debate on majority and minority at the National Assembly. Azimio has been quite fair and straightforward. Azimio looked at the numbers, it knows its members. You know, this aspect of saying who is the majority and who is the minority is not a big issue. The moment we are done with the elections, on the face of it, we can tell which side is the majority and which side is the minority. On two bases, either on the base of the political party or on the base of the coalition of parties. In the event of a conversation around the coalition, we need to have a look at any copies of the agreements that have been deposited with the registrar of political parties. And I think one of the things that I've actually learned is that it said that on the 2nd of September is when the acting clerk of the National Assembly has written to the registrar of political parties, because the standing orders requires, the standing orders expect the clerk to write to the registrar for a certified copy of the situation with respect to the coalitions or the political parties and the numbers. And I think a formal communication is said to have been written back to the National Assembly on the 7th of September. And I think this is an issue that we are going to learn going forward from the Speaker. Meaning, on the face of it, which side is the majority we can tell. At the National Assembly level, it is the Azimio La Umoja One Kenya coalition. At the Senate, it is the Kenya Kwanza. But now we are seeing a scenario whereby the president and his team at Kenya Kwanza are telling the people how watu wanasema that they are the majority, yet they could not even get the speakership.
Right.
Winning the slot of speakership does not translate to you being the majority. It's about members exercising their right to vote. Someone from Azimio La Umoja Kenya, One Kenya coalition could even vote for someone who has been endorsed for the position of speakership by Kenya Kwanza. So that is not a reflection of which is the status as to the majority or the minority. But factually speaking and legally speaking, Azimio is the majority. But politically, and with respect to the kind of numbers, the kind of politicians who have sought to move from one side to the other, politically, the majority is Kenya Kwanza, but on paper, it is Azimio. The other thing is, we need to give a credit to the drafters of the Azimio La Umoja One Kenya coalition agreement. They were so smart. They could foresee the kind of behaviors that come with politicians. That is why they put in the aspect of the 90 days, meaning those days shall be lapsing from this 1st of November, from the 9th of November. And look at it that way. They'll be having to be in that particular coalition. Until then, you cannot find your way out. That is why we're even having a court case. You know, some of these outfits that are seeking to be moved, to move out of the Azimio La Umoja One Kenya coalition, have even petitioned the court to maybe get the directions of the court with respect to their place. They are saying that they do not want to be associated with these parties, but on paper. That is why we have to respect the kind of agreements that we are entering into. They have signed agreements. I think it was on April 13th that Azimio ended up forwarding that is when Azimio La Umoja One Kenya coalition was given the agreement, a certificate to that effect on the 13th of April. Meaning, on the 1st of April, when all these outfits, I think about 23 or so political parties have come together, nobody had forced you. You have brought your party on board, you have signed the necessary papers. Live with it, because by then you knew what you were signing onto. By the time you were signing and by the time you were putting the pen onto the paper, you knew that 90 days after the election, you cannot find a way out of this fit until that time lapses. And from the look of things at the moment, and from the look of the wording of Article 108 of the Constitution, it is Azimio that by law is the majority. Now the big question is, why are we having this kind of jostlings? You know, the majority leader is a very, very crucial docket, because the majority leader will be coming from the majority side. The majority leader, I think when you look at his role over time, he has been the leader of government business. When you again look at the standing orders, the majority side shall be given to very important committees, chairing them shall be given for crucial committees such as the Committee on Cooperatives, the Committee on Finance, shall be going to the majority. These are very important dockets to them. When you again look at the aspect of Azimio again being, in as much as it will be the majority, it will still be the watchdog, because it will be it will be from the opposing side or from the opposition. Meaning, it will be in charge of the Public Accounts Committee, the Public Investments Committee, the various watchdog committees. Now look at it that way: a side that will be taking advantage of the side on Finance Committee, the cooperatives, I think there are other listed ones under the standing orders. Look at the Public Accounts Committee, you're giving it to them. Public Investment Committee, you're going to give it to them. In as much as it's not the government, it will be a very influential position in the sense that it shall be dominating over very important committees. And you know, the House is about committees. The way the standing orders are drafted at the moment, if you want the CS for Labour to answer to questions, he must appear before the Committee on Labour.
All right.
That tells you the place of the chairperson and the vice chair on those committees. I think it's a very important thing. That's why we are having this kind of debates at the moment. But away from the politics of it, legally and by law, at the moment, Azimio is the majority, in as much as we are waiting for the direction from the Speaker. And the Speaker will not be ruling on this from the moon. He will have to stick to the Constitution, the Political Parties Act, and the standing orders. Whatever he's supposed to say can rightfully be predicted by legal minds.